You know, as a leader, your brain is a world-class reaction machine. But here's the thing. Reacting, that's not really leading, is it? Today, we're going to explore how to break that cycle. We're talking about how real, sustained performance comes from intentionally building habits that cut through all the noise and free your mind for what actually matters. So let me just ask you this straight up. Take a hard look at your calendar. Is it a true reflection of your strategic priorities, or does it look more like a chaotic game of Tetris, dictated by everybody else's emergencies? If you feel like you're constantly just putting out fires, you are definitely not alone. The reality is, modern leadership is just facing this massive overload problem. The pressure is relentless, the notifications are endless, and that crucial time for deep strategic thinking, it feels like it's just vanished into thin air. But listen, this isn't some kind of personal failure. It's a systemic problem we're all dealing with. So what does this overload actually look like? Well, the data really tells the story. Microsoft has a great name for it, the infinite workday. Just look at this. Meetings after 8 p.m. are surging, up 16% year over year, and nearly a third of all meetings now span across different time zones. Your workday doesn't really have a beginning or an end anymore, and that is absolutely crushing the time you need to think big. And you know what makes it even worse? It's not just the quantity of work, it's the quality. Harvard Business Review found that senior managers feel a huge portion of their meetings are completely unproductive. So you're not just working more, you're spending more of your time in meetings that don't even move the needle. Sound a little too familiar? And here's where it gets really dangerous. This is the ripple effect. According to Gallup, manager engagement has plummeted to just 27%. When leaders like you are burned out, that cascades right down to your teams. This isn't just about you feeling overwhelmed. It's a potential crisis for the entire organization. This really brings us to the core of the issue. If you don't take control and intentionally build your own leadership routines, your calendar, with all its reactive, chaotic demands, is going to build them for you. And trust me, it's not going to be in your favor. But the good news is there is a way to fight back. So how do we do it? How do we fight back? Well, it all starts with understanding the amazing science of your own brain. You literally have the power to physically rewire your mind for focus. And no, this isn't some kind of magic trick. It's a biological process that you can actually take control of. The key concept we're talking about here is neuroplasticity. It's this incredible, mind-blowing ability of your brain to reorganize itself, to create new pathways based on your actions and your thoughts. And this isn't something that only happens when you're a kid, it happens your entire life. Your purposeful behaviors can literally, physically change the structure of your brain. Okay, here's a fantastic example of this in action. There's a famous study of London taxi drivers. They had to memorize thousands of streets, and that intense, deliberate practice physically grew the navigation center of their brains. It's wild. And the exact same principle applies to leadership. Your consistent, purposeful habits can reshape the parts of your brain that are responsible for focus, for strategy, and for decision-making. Now, let's be real for a second. You've probably heard that whole 21 days to form a habit thing. Well, the real research says something a little different. On average, it takes about 66 days, so just over 2 months of steady repetition for a new behavior to become truly automatic. It's not a quick fix, but it's an absolutely achievable goal that creates real, lasting change. All right, so the theory is cool, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through the story of a leader who went from being totally buried in reactive chaos to taking back control of her strategy, her calendar, and honestly, her sanity. So this is Elena. She's a COO. And when we first started working with her, she told us she felt like she no longer owned her mornings. Her calendar was just this absolute mess of back-to-back meetings, constant pings, and scattered decisions. She was living in that reactive state we've been talking about. Her reset followed this simple 3-step process. First, she had to map her attention. She did a 3-week audit to get a really honest look at where her time and energy were actually going. Second, she started to wire in new routines, starting with a non-negotiable block of time for deep work every single morning. And third, she started to measure what mattered, shifting her focus from just being busy to tracking real outcomes, like how many key decisions were made each week. And just look at these results. After only 8 weeks, she reclaimed 6.5 hours every single week for strategic work. She cut her meeting time by 34%, and all that constant firefighting, it dropped dramatically. See, this wasn't about working harder. It was about working with true intention. This quote from her coach just nails the shift she made. Think about it. A thermometer just reacts to the temperature in the room. It reflects the chaos. But a thermostat? A thermostat sets the temperature. Elena learned how to become a thermostat leader. She started proactively creating the conditions for focus and success, instead of just reacting to the heat of everyone else's demands. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how can I do this? Let's break down 4 of the most critical habits you can start building today that will have the biggest impact on your focus and ultimately your team's results. All right, here they are, 4 game-changing habits. First up, daily deep work. The ritual is so simple. A 90-minute block, probably in the morning, with all your notifications turned off. This isn't just about getting stuff done, it's about giving your brain space to consolidate memory and really think systemically. Second, outcome-based meetings. The goal here is to slash that cognitive load from vague meetings. The rule? Every invite needs to state the purpose, the decision needed, and who owns the follow-up. That's it. Third, written decisions. This one is a lifesaver for eliminating rework. 1 decision, 1 owner, 1 deadline, all written down. Finally, the end-of-day debrief. Just 5 minutes to close all those mental tabs, think about what you learned, and pinpoint your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. It's like priming your brain for success. Feeling fired up? Good. Let's make this real. Here is a simple, step-by-step action plan to get you started on your own 66-day journey to completely rewire your leadership approach. Okay, here's your playbook. The absolute key is to not try to do everything at once. Step 1, pick just 3 of those habits we talked about, the ones that will give you the biggest return on your attention right now. Step 2, create triggers. Anchor that new habit to a specific time and place to make it automatic. Steps 3 and 4, systematize your work. Log every single decision with an owner and a deadline, and try making your default meeting time a crisp 20 minutes. And finally, steps 5 and 6. Make it visible. Track your progress. And maybe most importantly, coach your own managers on these same principles. That's how you scale your impact and change the whole culture. And you don't have to build this system from the ground up all by yourself. M360 actually offers tools like a habit tracker and a meeting cost calculator to help you really lock in this change. These aren't just random apps. They're born from over 15 years of coaching leaders through this exact process, with an incredible satisfaction rate of over 99%. They've seen this transformation work time and time again. So here's the bottom line. You absolutely can take back control of your time and your focus. You can turn good intentions into daily, visible, measurable routines that get real results. The secret isn't some big heroic effort. It's coherence. It's about showing up and doing the small, important things day after day. I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Right now, as we speak, your calendar is wiring your brain. It's creating pathways of reaction and distraction. The only question left is, who do you want holding the wires?